I have been training nutrition coaches, taking them through, you know, the process and steps of getting them set up with their business, and done my own nutrition coaching for the last 10 years. One thing I found, one of the most common questions from my peers and those around me is like, what nutrition certification do I need to take? What's the best one? Today, I'm going to answer that question, give you some options, some things to think about so that you can start nutrition coaching or take things to the next level. There's plenty of good options out there, ones that are going to give you the science, going to give you like the background and different ways of doing coaching, different philosophies. Um, and I'll say this, I'm kind of getting a little, I would say, tired of it. There's not many that are going to give you the business side of things and the coaching systems. To start nutrition coaching, I guess there's a big difference between maybe even some of these are titled nutrition coaching certifications, when in reality, if they don't give you the practical, applicable pieces to work with people, it's not really nutrition coaching, it's just basic nutrition. And there's a difference between those things. It seems somewhat subtle, but there is a difference. Especially if you want to take this and not just learn about nutrition, but you want to help others with it, you want to create a coaching business out of it. There's no worse feeling than thinking something was going to be the start of what you needed to do, in terms of like the underlying thing that you needed to get started, in terms of like, you know, one of those things around, okay, I'm going to take this cert, it's going to give me everything I need, I'm going to start coaching, those type of things. And the worst feeling is going down that path and then not having everything you need to help more people. And I want to be able to uh, help you solve that problem today by giving you some of the options and things to think about as you go into it. Because there's so many different things out there. Some of the, I would say, the biggest basic certification players in the space, we're talking about Precision Nutrition Level 1, NASM's CNC, or Certified Nutrition Coach, the ISSA cert. Those are probably like the three big ones most people go down. A lot of times, if you're looking for a thorough understanding of the science of nutrition and how to apply it in a behavioral sense, in terms of like habits, sustainability, the PN path is typically the best one. Now they do have a level 2 program that is more hands-on and like master of the coaching side of things. I think it's a year-long program. Most people finish the PN level 1 within like 3 to 6 months, but there's no strict timeline around when you have to do it by, because it's self-guided, be the biggest thing. But you don't get tons of coaching experience within that. It's more theoretical and what could happen. The NASM CNC, many times people will go with either NASM or ISSA because they have like a personal training cert through that, and maybe they can get like a bundle option or something along those lines, and they're looking for a piece of paper. If you're looking for a piece of paper to get started with your nutrition business and nutrition coaching, not a bad path in terms of like you'll get the actual science of these underlying scientific principles that'll help you understand nutrition. But a lot of times people go down through all of these, and they think like, what's next? What do I need to do next? Like, how do I actually start coaching people? How do I start creating coaching systems to keep myself organized and streamlined? And like, how do I get clients? What does that process look like in terms of like marketing, sales, social media, and the strategies to build my business? You're not going to get, there might be a chapter in some of these certifications. I've looked through most of them. Maybe they've added these things in, but you're not going to get any of like the hands-on component. And many of the times when you're looking at a nutrition cert, that's between like, I would say $800 to $1,500. If it's purely course-based, you generally are not going to be able to talk to anyone going through it. So in terms of like peers, but also like mentorship and support, it's one of those things that this is like, it's almost like the entry to getting started. What I want you guys to take away from this conversation, and number one, like make this interactive. If you're tuning into the live today and you have any questions about how to get started, there's so many comments on my videos about like, I was thinking about doing this, should I do it? Or like, is this so what's best for me? Ask me questions. I'm here to help and engage and kind of go from there, because I would be happy to pass along what I've taken away from reviewing many of these, but also creating my own nutrition certification, which we'll talk about in a second. But the business side of things, from even just the mentorship and guidance aspect, like you're not going to, if it's called a course, there isn't going to be that like, we'll take you through the process in terms of chatting with a live person that is going to give you guidance or anything else along those lines. That's typically reserved for a program. So if you know that you really thrive and you find talking to people beneficial, you might have to search out a program to help you get started as opposed to just a course. So keep that in mind. But those are some of the main options around like, hey, what do I need? How do I want to navigate things? If you're looking for purely the science of nutrition, basic introduction to the materials, NASM and ISSA are great. If you feel like you want to dive into more of the behavioral and psychological side of how to get people to do things that stick and learn about science, PN level 1 is great. But if you really want to put yourself out there and grow a business, you're probably going to look for a program. If you've never heard of the Nutrition Coaching Academy program, our certification that we created, it's a 90-day time frame. It is a sprint. The people that do really, really well in our program, they know the impact of nutrition. Either it's helped them in their own personal experience in terms of like they've had their own transformation, they know the power of this stuff and they want to help others, or they already have like an existing fitness business, be it like a personal trainer, or they own a gym, or they're doing group fitness classes, and their clients and their community is always asking about nutrition. And they know they could help them in a different capacity if they had the coaching system set up and the knowledge and confidence to put this into action. They're looking for the quickest path to get started nutrition coaching, which means tackling the science sometimes, but it also means making sure that you have the coaching systems in place in a streamlined approach, as well as the strategies and action steps to take to actually attract paying clients and turn them into paying clients. It's an important thing. So we take students through this in the 90-day capacity. Part of it is there's a self-guided course that you're working through on your own time. So you get the knowledge and understanding, but 4 times per week, we have a live seminar where we help you hit the ground running. Like in terms of like, this is what I'm up to. This is what I need help with. This is what's next for me in terms of the actual hands-on support. And we help you, everyone has strengths and weaknesses and things that they can use to their advantage to grow their business. Some of you guys are good writers. Some of you guys are social butterflies that have the gift of gab, that can talk to anyone in the gym and those type of things. It's like leveraging your own personal situation to get this off the ground and going. And typically that only happens through that hands-on support and having a guide and mentor to talk to you about your situation. So we do that on a weekly basis. The intent is our students come to one of those calls per week, but everything's recorded and in a private learning portal. So that's how we actually deliver the coaching side of things. And that's what makes this a program with a business focused. Like you're still a nutrition coach that's going to learn the nutrition side of things. So it's great from the basic level of that. It's like taking macronutrients and metabolism at the college level of how to create results and body transformations, but then how to actually take that stuff and apply it to how to work with others, how to have those conversations, how to create a coaching system from start to finish. We're talking, someone reaches out to you and says, Mark, I know you're into this nutrition thing. I want to lose some weight. What do I do? You know how to assess them. You created an application form. You're collecting the right information. You're passing along the next steps. You're, showing them the value of coaching, having a sales conversation, setting them up on check-ins. You've created your check-in process. You know how to respond. You know how to fulfill on that step. To take everything that you're experiencing and then market it in terms of how to tell their stories to attract more people just like them. That's the business side of things. Many basic certifications, they're not going to teach you that. And unfortunately, you feel like you're going to get all of that stuff in a lot of these scenarios, but you don't. So if you're looking for something like that, let's chat. You're going to find the first link in the description to our actual program. And maybe it'll be the second program you take. That's totally cool. But if you want to hit the ground running around doing this right the first time and not doing it over and not having to continue to do it, go with the thing that you know is going to work right off the bat. If you're watching the replay, you can find the actual application and sales page in the description, but I dropped it there in the chat as well. Do you guys have any questions about what's the best path for you? Let me know, and I'd be happy to fill you in, answer some questions. There's no good or bad here. There's just like, what is my situation? What do I want out of this? And then you can start to align your needs and your aspirations with what you're going to get within the learning scenario. So let me know about that as well. Any questions today, guys? Got that lunch hour live session coming to you live. Always trying to find the best time for attendance on these things. I can imagine it's just a Tuesday in June and people are enjoying the sunshine. That's what I'm hoping. But if you guys have any questions for me, let me know. And I'd be happy to chat a little further. Anything else right now? If there's not, we're going to leave her there for today. Hopefully you got some insight on how to pick a nutrition certification. If you're considering the best path to get started in nutrition coaching and make a business out of it, without a doubt, check out ours. And we'll take next steps and have a conversation around if it's a good fit. That's it for today, guys. Take care.